Dad, what's in there, do you think?
Go have a look. شوفها هلا.
After much delay, episode 5 has finally landed, and I've got a few things to say about it. Come join me as I explain how I made the Afterworld's 5th installment.
She's just sort of like kicking you out of here like it's my turn.
After losing their boat, becoming separated, and then finally reuniting in episode 4, Sam and his daughter Zara have to trek through a mysterious forest on foot. The forest is, no surprise, controlled through Blender's geometry nodes. The assets, such as trees, stones and grass, are scattered across a ground plane. I then tinker with asset scale, rotation and seed values, creating huge variations in randomness, essentially constructing a very organic feel to the forest than hand placing assets individually could ever achieve, at least without much time and effort, of which I have neither. Each asset group comprises one branch of the node tree, and can therefore be controlled individually to get the exact look that I'm after. Once the specific parameters are locked in place, it's simply a matter of scaling the forest to fit the shot.
It's a short period.
Quick,
It doesn't work. It's
Allah, just pull her along.
She ain't here.
Just deal with it.
Okay.
Ready? Action.
He's pretty good.
Sorry, fuck.
Damn.
Well done.
Although not much happens in the way of plot in this installment, I did want this episode to explain some, but not all, of the backstory as to how we got to the year 2700. And so a flashback takes us 700 years into the past, into a dystopian city where our characters reside. This city and much of the assets in this episode were sourced from the amazing talent found over at Sketchfab. The models are linked in the description, so definitely check them out. For the city, many repeating assets were used to give the visual complexity of a real functioning city. The explosion is composed of several image planes of an explosion and smoke plume videos, timed to go off in conjunction with flashes of light in the scene to light the neighbouring buildings, selling the shot. Because of the extensive repetition of models, the scene became quite heavy. To get around this, the shot was broken into layers and rendered separately. These were then composited together to get the final shot.
Now it's just the shot of Soph, which is the final shot. She's by herself. She's by herself. Yeah. I'll just need you, Ray. Alright, see the logo? It's like, oh shit, what is that?
Yeah.
It is in this episode that we hear of our main villain, Technocracy, a tech company essentially acting as a false messiah. They have convinced the world's governments to mandate their cryo-technology across the population in order to freeze all of mankind and eradicate the waves of diseases that have plagued humanity. The cryogenic station was a beautiful sketchfab asset that was thankfully low poly enough for me to work without Blender crashing on me. The model was edited a little bit to fit my purpose. In the cryo chamber, I did not use HDRIs or external sun lamps to light the scene. It was all lit using emissive surfaces. I found it gave me a very realistic look of a dark room lit by interior LEDs. It also helps to have reflective surfaces all over the place to really bounce that light around and create a cinematic composition. Things like smoke and mist in the cryopod were well-timed image planes that sell the illusion of cold. Also, fun fact, I make a cameo in this episode.
Oh my god, you guys! Oh, stop! Sad?
But then something went horribly wrong.
The door's lifting, what's happening? Perfect, William.
My sister-in-law Sophie joined the cast in this episode and she did a phenomenal job playing Sam's wife, Yasmin. Fun fact, she is married to Ray, who plays Sam in real life. She's not a big fan of horror, so to say thanks for her help in this episode, I made her major scene a horror scene. You're welcome, Soph.
Sure.
Right, yeah, let's look back down.
I thought that was you.
Two stumps. What are you doing, juggling? What's this? Alright, recognize it again.
Sam, what's happened here?
The corridor asset was again repeating models, heightened with moody lighting, rain video planes outside the window, and spiced up with some flashes of lightning.
Action.
Wow.
Okay, maybe just like, wow.
Wow.
One more time.
Whoa.
One more time.
Wow.
Alright, but now it's a little bit more confused. Wow.
Wow. Yalla. Wow.
It's reminding of the cat. Wow. Wow.
When we return to the current timeline, Sam and Zara notice a police drone lingering around the cryogenic station. They decide that story time is over and head off through the forest, finally exiting the creepy woods onto a beach. Sam discovers how they can sail home, and they are both off across the ocean. The overhead shot of a whale gliding beneath the pair is a good example of how I go about enhancing a shot. The original shot out of Blender looks like this. My scanned actor models on a transparent ocean plane with the animated whale asset swimming into the shot. I then bring the render into hit film where I composite cloud reflections onto the ocean, add birds flying by, and a school of fish sourced from Production Crate. Along with color grading in DaVinci Resolve, the final shot is lively and expressive. This was the same with the flock of birds overhead. These were composited over the Blender render and sold convincingly with the addition of subtle gusts, light leaks, water reflections and shadows on the actors. It all comes down to planning and deciding what to focus on in Blender and what to apply as an overlay post-render.
Now look above you, there's birds and stuff. Look out here, over there.
In the third act, the pair finally reach their home, the place where the surviving humans are hiding from the robots that have taken over the world. Naturally, the entrance into the colony is through a secret passageway into the interior of an island mountain out in the middle of the ocean. The cave was composed of multiple rock and cliff assets with an ocean plain at the base. The photo-scanned models of the actors were animated to glide into and through the cave entrance and down the narrow passage. The cave then leads to the interior of the island where the colony resides. I had envisioned this place to be a complex network of hanging walkways and primitive structures, since the inhabitants would not be using any form of technology that would give away their whereabouts. The magic of repeating assets was again deployed here, with hanging bridges arrayed along a curve.
What took you so long?
Thanks for taking the time, and I hope you learned something. Please like, share and subscribe. It would really support the continuation of this series. This has been Ali. See you in the next episode.